Well, here it is. The top 10 third-party characters that I want to see in Super Smash Bros. My only restriction this time is only one character per franchise. I was going to say no Mega Man because he is on everyone's list, but it should be pretty obvious why that rule isn't really necessary anymore. But before I start, real quick, Crystal fights with Spirit, Trainer Callum wants to battle, Mewtwo has awakened, Me would like to play, Issa Joe, he's a keeper, Starfy dives in, Prince Fluff weaves in, Pulse Man electrifies the competition, Toad, a fun guy to play as, and Paper Mario flattens the competition. Alright, enough of that. Number 10! Rayman, from the Rayman series. Lately, his games have been doing very well, especially on Nintendo platforms. The annoyingly successful Rabbids series started off on the Wii, and Rayman Legends was supposed to be a Wii exclusive title, but then Ubisoft changed their mind at the last minute. Still, Legends and Origins display a style of gameplay reminiscent of Nintendo platformers of old, and give the titular character a varied moveset that could easily translate into a Super Smash Bros. Moveset. Rayman. Legend goes on. Number 9! Dr. Derek Stiles from Trauma Center. Dr. Mario was a really weird choice for Melee, and I always thought that if they wanted to put in a doctor character, they should have put in someone who could do more than just shoot pills. Enter Derek Stiles. He can shoot foes with his laser, carve them up with his scalpel, and drain their blood with his blood drain. And, with his defibrillating final smash, Dr. Derek Stiles is ready to operate. Number 8. Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. Have you played that game? Yes? No? Well, if you have, you would know that the characters in that game control almost exactly like the characters in Super Smash Bros., using X and Y to jump, A for basic attacks, and B for special attacks. This means that Lloyd's moveset is pretty much already made up for him, and since Namco Bandai is developing the next Super Smash Bros., his inclusion seems somewhat likely. Lloyd Irving has been chosen to fight. By the way, that one and the one I came up with kind of Number 7! Okay, this one is going to get me in trouble. I mean, there will likely be more thumbs down than thumbs up on this video because of this character's inclusion. Actually, I would have put this character a lot higher on the list were he not so controversial. Do you want to know who he is? Do you really? Well, okay. Here goes. It's Agumon from the Digimon franchise. Yes, I am including an anime character in a Smash Bros. Top 10. Sue me. Really though, Digimon didn't start out as an anime. It started as a virtual pet, which, if you ask me, might as well be considered a video game. Besides that, Digimon has spawned many games over the years, some of the most successful of which have been on the Nintendo DS. Plus, most of these games were developed by Namco Bandai, which, if you recall, are also developing the next Smash Bros. Really though, Agumon is on this list for one reason and one reason alone. Pokemon versus Digimon. Oh, and so that he can warp Digivolve into Warp Greymon for his final smash. With that in mind, Agumon is Digi-destined to fight. Number 6. While I certainly don't want him out of the next Smash Bros., with Metal Gear shifting its attention to other characters, Solid Snake might not return to the fray, but I'd hate to see the Metal Gear franchise duck out of the series completely, so I propose the torch be passed to Big Boss. Raiden was already playable in PlayStation All-Stars, so his inclusion in Smash Bros. May have some people questioning his loyalty. So, the protagonist of Snake Eater, Portable Ops, Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, and the Phantom Pain seems to be the next best choice. In SSB4, Big Boss sneaks in. Number 5. Quote from Cave Story. Cave Story is one of the best indie games ever, and it deserves as much respect as it can get. And what better way to respect an indie game than to include its main character in an all-star fighting game usually reserved for widely recognized characters from AAA games. Quote's diverse arsenal would perfectly match the Smash Bros. Aesthetic, surrounding himself with bubbles, launching upward with a booster, and throwing his blade. Quote spelunks in to Super Smash Bros. 4. Number 4! Maxwell from Scribblenauts. Not only is his franchise almost exclusive to Nintendo platforms, but he also has more moveset potential than any other character ever, because in Scribblenauts you can spawn just about any item that you can come up with. If you want characters to be pelted in the face with toast or flattened by a steamroller, it is technically possible if Maxwell is drawn into battle. Number 3! Now that Mega Man's confirmed, I can't help but wonder if Capcom is going to stop there, or if they're going to include other characters as well. Initially, I wanted Phoenix Wright playable, if for no other reason than to scream, "OBJECTION!" when the player thinks that they've unlocked every character. But, the more I think about it, the more I really want to see Viewtiful Joe in this. Not only would his VFX powers be interesting to see in Smash Bros., but his inclusion could spark Capcom to finally finish the trilogy that we've been promised for such a long time. Number 3 on this list, Viewtiful Joe is a go-go, baby. Number 2, Knuckles the Echidna from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic is one of those franchises that has built up so many interesting characters over the years that if Sonic himself returns in SSB4, it would be foolish for him not to bring a buddy along. And while Tails and Dr. Eggman might have been around for longer, Knuckles is just so cool that neither of these guys can even compete. Knuckles can glide, punch, dig, and climb, and for his final smash, he can ride atop Master Emerald and wreak havoc. Fighting Big Knuckles ain't a kidding around! Number 1. Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. In an interview from a long ways back, the creator of No More Heroes, Suda51, expressed great interest in putting Travis in Super Smash Bros. 4, and as a huge fan of both series, I couldn't help but gush a little bit when he said that. While his language would have to be toned down a lot, switching between beam katanas and using wrestling techniques on enemies would just be so satisfying. Suda51, I'm begging you, get through to Sakurai, because if Travis were in Smash Bros. 4, he'd say, "I'm Travis Touchdown, crown this king of fighters." So, what do you think? Agree? Disagree? Post either a comment like, "Oh, you're sexy and smooth," or "You're a double-cross spy thief, out for my jewels!" Anyway, this is only the second in my Smash Brothers trilogy, so check in soon for my next video about Smash Brothers. What could it be about? I don't... It's stages. But, in the meantime, I have something a little different planned.